Hopefully you enjoyed the lunch. They said that it's like a brain food, so hopefully you are now very energized for the next session. So if you take your seats, and then we will give our panelists opportunity to share their ideas in a very interesting panel. We are happy to see all of the social media updates, and there is on the badge, there is this conference hashtag, so please include that to your social media posts so we can really sort of have a visibility to the event and of this important topic. I'm very happy to welcome our next panel and panelists. That's about future design, foresight, and innovation. Very important topic in this discussion of innovations. The moderator is Soile Kuitunen from Miina Sillanpää Foundation. And then we have Minna Koskelo from 11 Helsinki, Rajkumar Sabanadesan from SABANA Ltd, and Wilfried Kainz from Zero Project. Please welcome.
Thank you. So nice to see you all. It's really my pleasure to be here and be a moderator for this panel. My name is Soile Kuitunen, and I work as the CEO of Miina Sillanpää Foundation. And our foundation promotes well-being and inclusion of the elderly people. Mainly our R&D projects focus on Finland, but we also want to become more international. We also have development and service activities related to the well-being of people who have disabilities. And besides this, we are also involved in innovation activities, and we have produced social innovations together with other organizations. So I'm really happy to attend this important seminar and excited to be here, and more excited about our excellent panelists. But firstly, I would like to give you a brief overview. I hope it forms a good basis for our discussion and the topics we are going to deal. And if I get the slides, please, or should I put it here? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I would like to start with a question. What do we need social innovation for? We all are familiar with the societal challenges we all are facing, such as climate change, social exclusion and poverty, mental health problems, they are really discussed here in Finland, and loneliness. And social innovation, as we have heard, we have had an excellent discussion in the morning and in these sessions. We really have to listen to the needs of different target groups and develop human-centered solutions in order to social innovation become reality. For example, the participation of people with disabilities in the brainstorming and development of social innovation is essential. It's essential in order a social innovation to be effective. And we cannot forget the technological side of innovation. We haven't discussed so much about technological innovations. They are really connected to social innovation. It's quite hard to imagine any social innovation which doesn't require technological platform or adoption of technological solution. So technology and social innovation are very much combined to each other. But let me turn shortly to the logic of social innovation. Firstly, you have to put the people first. Social innovation requires listening very closely the needs of different target groups and developing human-centered, people-centered solutions. Secondly, you have to describe or identify the theory of change. I have heard this in the sessions that you have talked about, the change you are striving for. So you have to understand, you have to evaluate societal benefits and impact of your innovation and invention. And then the third part deals with this technological side of social innovation. The successful adoption and development of technological innovation also requires social innovation. Put the people first. What does it mean? It means that development requires empathy, understanding people's everyday life, and the meanings they give to things. In general, what you need, you have to understand what is meaningful to people in their everyday lives. People-oriented innovation also brings developers and communities together. We have talked about pioneers in technological development. They are like forerunners, and others come many meters back and lag behind. But when you are developing social innovations, you have to share. The logic is different. You have to be co-developer, a co-understander, and it's essential that you bring your resources, your financial resources, your human resources, that they are at disposal to everyone involved in that innovation process. And I think, in my opinion, this is the key issue that distinguishes social innovations from many other forms of innovation. Put the people first. The second part is sustainability. I think that innovation is not an innovation unless it has been introduced and exploited. And we all know that when our projects stop, sometimes it's almost impossible to exploit the invention or the solution or the operating model we have developed in that project further. So, to be truly impactful, innovation must be scaled and disseminated. Innovation becomes innovation only through its wider exploitation and dissemination. And when you think about the sustainability, whether your invention or innovation has positive or negative impacts on environment, on social groups of people, or on economy, it can have negative effects on one point of view, but positive on the other. So it's very important that you find the ways of balancing these effects and you work for sustainable innovation. And then last but not least, technology matters. Technology is a necessary, often pervasive force in all new creations. If you think about any social innovation, it's very hard to imagine that there is no technology involved in that development process or in the dissemination of the social innovation. And you really have to be aware of the problems and side effects of the innovation and the technology which might cause these negative effects. Technology can become an end in itself, or it can change your activities in an unwanted direction. So, at this point, I would like to thank you. And next, I will introduce you to our amazing panelists. Firstly, Minna Koskelo. Minna is a futures designer at 11 Helsinki Ltd and a pioneer of futures design in Finland with 20 years of working experience. Wow. She has worked with almost 100 companies in almost 50 industries, helping organizations to seize the change. And she has also published a book, which was released last year, and it deals with the future's design in decision making. She's also the chair of the board at Futures Finland Association and a member of at the Association of Professional Futurists. Yes. And then our second panelist is Rajkumar Sabanadesan, and he is an entrepreneur and a professional coach with over 15 years of experience in leading organization and business. And he is also a board member and chair of board in several companies. And then our third panelist, Wilfried Kainz. He works as the head of research for the Zero project, and in that project they aim to identify innovation that benefit persons with disabilities. And through the collective intelligence of their network, they detect and promote products and services as well as standards and regulations. And these innovations they develop concern the four main topics of the UNCRPD as well as ICT. What a panel. Ooh. So next our panelists will briefly present their viewpoints for our forthcoming discussion, and Minna will start, please.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. I think I don't have to tell any further about myself. I'm very happy to be here today. And let's see. So about why I'm at this panel, I'm going to say a couple of words about that. So as you just heard, I call myself a futures designer, and that means that I combine futures thinking or foresight, as you can also say, and design thinking in my approach. And one of my core messages that I really want to deliver, not only here today, but also globally and everyone around the world, that not only me, but actually we are all futures designers. So future is not something that happens to us. We co-create future every day in our actions and in the decisions that we make. And therefore, I want people to understand that people realize the future. And that's why it is really, really important that we get the people on board, so that only the decision makers are not the ones that are deciding the future for us. And this is why I have invented this approach called futures design, where I have framework, methods, and tools that I introduce to companies and organizations and societies that they can apply. It means that we invite people along designing the future, so co-designing the future. We really need to raise the awareness of futures. And as you can see and hear, my title is Futures Designer, and that is because there is not only one future ahead of us, there are many alternative futures. And that's why I'm referring to futures awareness. So we need to spread the awareness about foresight to people, that there is not only one, but many futures ahead of us, and that we can truly everyone affect to the future around us. And I want to show the framework, because this is why I'm here today talking about it. So there is three phases. There is sensing, sense making, and seizing. And first of all, foresight obviously looks the long-term futures. So many times as people, we are concentrated in the short-term future. So bringing foresight also to social innovation or into innovation practices, we make sure that our innovations are futures fit. So we have all witnessed quite many wildcards during the past couple of years. So that is something that I do every day. I explore those wildcards, weak signals and trends and megatrends, and I bring them into decision making. And so we get the futures fit approach also to innovations. So first of all, you sense the operational environment. You become aware of the change drivers that affect the future. After that, you make sense how these drivers of change, trends, megatrends affect to the solutions or innovations that we are driving for. And then you try to empower and engage people more so that they also become futures advocates. So there's futures agency. So we develop future consciousness, futures literacy, and futures agency. And what design brings, obviously, design is human-centered. Design always starts from the people perspective, as Soile just highlighted the fact. So we do not design for people, we design with people. So we understand them and we want to invite them with us. So in the sense-making phase, we co-create the solutions with the people. And of course, then the solutions must be feasible with societies and organizations. So we have to take that into account as well. So I'm always aiming for the desired futures. And I really think that in societies and in the public discussion, we are lacking the desired visions at the moment. We have seen that also, for instance, in the Futures Barometer that were just released in Finland, that when people were asked to say things that brings hope for them, 39% couldn't say anything that brings hope for the future for the next 5 years. And that's really worrying. But today, hopefully, we will be discussed also about desired future and how we can empower, engage people to co-design the futures with us. So that's my approach for the day. Thank you.
So please.
Hi. I know it's hard this time of the day. Please don't fall asleep. I will make it short. When we think about social innovation, I think it's all about empathy and values. We can't create sustainable social innovation if we don't know how to be empathetic, if we don't have the values we need to have in order to create that sustainable social innovation. Only through empathy and values, we can really understand other people, other people's needs, other people's hopes, and also other people's fears. So in order to understand other people's hopes and fears and needs, first we need to understand ourselves. We all have issues. We all had troubles in our life. For sure, we will have troubles in the future as well. So how we can be empathetic to ourselves is the core of being empathetic to other people. Of course, social innovation is about people, about us, about the people in the future. It's about the whole sense of how we are going to be, what kind of the world we are going to leave to our children, and what kind of message we are going to our children when we interact with them every day and night. Everything happened with the people, by the people, together with the people. Thank you. I promised you I will keep it short.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. I will briefly talk about the Zero Project. And for the ones who do not know us, please pay attention. For the ones who do, this is your chance of a 2-minute power nap. And I bring you back. We are a research facility based in Vienna, Austria, as you might tell from my accent. And we're dealing with innovations that benefit persons with disabilities. We work alongside the 4 main topics of the convention, which is accessibility, education, employment, independent living, and political participation. And a couple of years ago, we decided also to include ICT because it has been a rapidly and fast changing sector which really benefits persons with disability. And what we do, we have developed over the years a network of roughly 10,000 organizations and persons around the globe. And we have a research and nomination process. So we take one topic. For example, for next year, it will be education, and we ask for innovations, product services, but also as a legal framework, we call them innovative practices and innovative policies. And this year we received, for example, more than 500 nominations. And over the summer, and also thanks to many people in this room, we do the selection of what we think is the most innovative and the most impactful, and also the most scalable. So these are the 3 selection criteria. Innovation, so new, not necessarily on a global scale, but at least in the regional context. Impact, a proven solution that has benefited persons with disabilities. And the 3rd criteria is scalability, in order to make it replicable, to make it transferred to other environments. And around these awardees, we built the Zero Project Conference, which takes place each year at the 3rd week in February at the UN in Vienna. It's attended by roughly 1,000 people, but we also broadcast it online, so you can watch it wherever you are based. It's attended by people of almost 90 different countries, so it's a global platform of exchange, and this is what we want to do. We want to encourage to exchange ideas, to not reinvent the wheel for the umpteenth time, but steal innovations and put it into your environment. About this context of this afternoon, and also to give our thoughts on the topics really laid out. Human-centered approach. I think we have already the motto of persons with disability, nothing about us without us. So, and this by definition is the human center of every innovation, of every benefit, of everything we do. And I think it has 2 dimensions to it. One is to educate our staff, to educate the persons who work with people with disabilities. Think about when was the last time we had a concentrated effort to increase the knowledge about technology, about new methods of your staff. And the other one is the concept of lifelong learning. I think this is also a fantastic buzzword which pops up once in a while, but who really does it? This really means that after we have done our purposeful primary and secondary and tertiary education, we still need to learn and to grow to keep up with things. The second one is the sustainability. For us, this is not wasting resources. This means let's scale good ideas. As I just said before, let's not reinvent the umpteenth time for, I don't know, an orientation system for the blind, just to grab one example. Let's really cooperate and see how you can benefit and scale it, bring it also into different environments. Of course, we always have, let's say, the rich countries versus the poor countries, but there's still methods where we can do that. And the third one is embrace technology. I think if you reach into our pockets, we have this device, 11 by 5, I think in the most cases, which is the assistive technology device, the mobile phone. Have you imagined, I don't know, only 10 years ago, what you do with it, that you do your banking and most of your social life over it? And so let's embrace it, but also learn about it. And another sector is also this Another buzzword is artificial intelligence. It will happen anyway. It will happen without us. So let's learn about it. Let's embrace it. Let's see how we can benefit from it. And I hope we have some more food for thought for the next remainder of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. So very much thank you for all you panelists. It was really inspiring to hear your viewpoints. And let's start our discussion. I have prepared 3 topics in this for this panel, but let's see what happens. I like the idea that social innovation is all about people. It's with people and it's for people, and this is very essential for the social innovation process and for the social innovations to emerge. So I think I will change my agenda, and I would like to ask you, can you give a concrete example of a social innovation in which you have been involved, or do you have in mind a social innovation which you think is a very nice example and you want to share it here with the audience? So what do you think? Do you have anything in mind?
I have something in mind because I came very, very far from Finland. I have been living here for 30 years. So as an outsider, when I think about this country, to my understanding, 3 social innovations comes to my mind. The first one is the school education reform that happened in 1970s, a huge one. It made it possible, the universal education. The second one is the maternity pack. That is brilliant. I think it doesn't exist anywhere else. And third one is the free meals to the students at schools. I think these 3 tells a lot about the society and the core message that I want to say about the empathy the society have for their members.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, who will take the next?
Very, very nice examples that you gave. I was thinking about event innovation that I've been a part of. It's called Futures Day. It's an event that is organized once a year, and together with other volunteers, we have made kind of this page with tools, methods. So there's always an agenda. There has been utopias, for instance, in 2020. And then once a year, it's in March, the 1st of March, Friday. So we give people tools, methods, theme to organize their own Futures Day. So this is, while I was talking about raising the awareness that there are many alternative futures, and people kind of need to understand that they are also futures designers, and they don't sort of have to be the victim of the future, like the quote that I was referring to. And then we contacted like people or futurists around the world, and then Teach the Future organization also joined us. And I think the materials are translated now into 10 languages, and there has been tens and tens of events around the world that people are now celebrating Futures Day and increasing their capabilities in futures literacy and future consciousness. So this is something that I've been a part of.
Oh, that sounds really nice. I have to interrupt. Do you know that we have a social innovation day here in Finland for the first time ever?
No, I didn't.
And it will be held in November. Somewhere here is Tuula Jäppinen. Do you remember the date? 7th of March, yeah. That is the first
Tuula.
innovation day in Finland, so yeah. November. 7th of November. Yeah. Okay, please go ahead.
Well, I think it's also fascinating when we talk about accessibility. to what extent? Of course, there's still a lot to do, and of course, I'm not by means saying that we have reached our target, but at least I think it's almost a mainstream discussion. And if we look again at technology, to our phones, to our computers, what they have when it comes, I don't know, to a PowerPoint presentation, the accessibility check, the text-to-speech, speech-to-text, which just is a snap. It's happening at an instant. So I think there's also some reason to be optimistic for the future, because we need this social consensus in order to drive a real change.
Thank you. Okay, but let's turn to our first theme, and it deals with human-centered innovation. And as in this panel, we will look at the future and discuss about the future possibilities more. So user orientation and human centricity have long been discussed in innovation activities. I used to be innovation researcher on innovation field, and our main focus was on technological innovations, but I remember that almost, it was like 1990s, we talked about involving users in the development of technology. It was something like, oh, this is different what it used to be. So, but nowadays when we think about involving users and this human centricity, it seems like it must be this way. So it has become really an interesting part of innovation processes. So user-driven innovation, it can be said that it's an umbrella term for innovation methods that involve customers and different groups in development of new products or services. When you look at the research, you can also find research results that verify that those companies which use these user-centered innovation activities, they actually represent a higher level of innovativeness than companies which use more traditional linear innovation process models. And when we talk about human-centric, then our debate goes even deeper. It is said that in the fourth industrial revolutions, the skills which are in highest demand are understanding, collaborating, communicating with the humans we interact with, the people our business and innovation serves. So this was something like you said about the empathy and doing with the people. So my first question is to all of you, what human-centered design and development actually means to you, and how you have implemented it in practice? So let's take each of you in turn. Who wants to start? Your own experiences.
I will approach this way. That I am involved in a business where we take care of elderly people, demented people that who can't live by themselves. So they are in these institutions, outdoors are locked and so on. And because we are having a serious problem in Finland with the workforce, we have to fight basically every day to get qualified and motivated workers. And one of the things that many of the workers usually say is that this work is not inspiring, it's very difficult. And sometimes you could hear that they will summarize it as end of the day, we are changing the diapers and feeding the people. Mm-hmm. So how can you bring purpose to these workers? So what we discuss with our employees are that we are living in a society which was built by these people who are laying on their beds. Mm-hmm. So it is our responsibility is to be grateful for these people who did a hard work after the war and build this great society where we are living and enjoying this wonderful and safe life. So we should think as we have a great opportunity to take care of these people who build this country for us.
Yeah.
That's what came to my mind.
Yeah, thank you. Please go ahead, please. Minna.
I have my background actually in service design. So I have a master's degree in service innovation and design. So design is really heavily rooted in my approach. And for me, it's more like design thinking, like a different way of thinking, always bringing the people in the core of everything. And I think we have quite a lot of research why that it's actually a really, really good thing to do it in that way. So we know that we are minimizing the risks of failure, for instance, if we design with people and not for people. So we bring the people on board in very early stages. We test things, we do prototypes and so forth. But also, I really love the quote from Anais Nin that we do not see things as they are, we see things as we are. And I think that is also really underlining the core reason for why we actually always should bring the people that we are trying to solve the issues or problems with on board. Yeah. So it's very important, and I would also love to talk about futures power, but maybe I will give the floor to you.
Yeah.
No, I just want to confirm what you said. So I think from research, our research shows the same. Of course, not everything is a success, but the reason for failure is not to take the people along, and it reaches from 2/3 up to 90%. If people are not engaged. And then I really want to reiterate what I said before. I think this concept of training and lifelong learning is equally important. So it's not only the product design, but then the constant education for the things we use. And we use a lot of things besides the PC and the phone. And I think most of us, or at least I'm overwhelmed by what I do not know. No, and I grew up with spreadsheets, Lotus 1, 2, 3. This is a long time ago, and I'm using Excel, and I think I think I use it quite well, but I think I use 10%. And so this, training, education, and this is really, really crucial.
Yeah, thank you for your wise words. But when we look at the future and we think about the capabilities and the know-how and the competencies we have to have in order to develop social innovations and to be creative and be co-developers and do with the people, not for the people, what kind of capabilities and competencies we might need more in the future? What do you think? What are we lacking, or are there something that should be strengthened in the future?
I think that this is the drum we are beating is cooperation. I mean, let's see, let's broaden the horizon, let's look somewhere else. We are not alone with our problems. Of course, we are in a singular situation and surroundings, but there might be a solution somewhere else where it's working, and let's steal with the eyes. Let's really try to not to come up and solve the problem from scratch, because maybe there is somewhere out there in this interconnected world which already has a solution for it, and I think this is really crucial for the speed and also the development.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could continue from that. Like we are talking about multi-crisis, for instance. So we need boundary breaking cooperation.
Yeah.
So I think we don't have that enough at the moment, and there are obviously challenges that we have to solve. For instance, funding sometimes creates competition between parties, and it's not maybe that easy to do things together. But I also think that we still need more empathy. I really like the fact that, for instance, social media are now, for instance, it brings more voices heard than previously it was. So that's something good that has come out of it. But the other way around, I'm really frustrated at the moment about the polarized situation, that we are like getting deeper into our own bubbles. So it's really a paradox at the moment that we're facing.
Yeah. Can I interrupt?
Sure,
It's your turn.
Absolutely.
We are like, in
boss.
Finland, we are very structured, so we have to go in. Yeah. I would like to stop here about the collaboration, because one essential feature in social innovation process is that it's collaborative, and we have to get private companies, public sector organizations, third sector organizations work together. And for example, in Finland, we can see that it's not so easy. It's not so easy, because the logic and the rationale for doing things might be really different in different sectors. So how could we actually meet this challenge and get people from different organizations and different sectors? Maybe I will turn to you, Rajkumar, because you are an entrepreneur, and maybe you could give us some ideas about this.
I really believe it's about leadership. It's about value-based leadership. And despite we are doing it separately and depending on the companies or projects or organizations or governments, there are certain nuances. But do we have the ability to look at the future and create a common vision? Mm-hmm. And if we really do have the value-based real leadership, I think we can create a common vision. Yeah. It's not that difficult, but it needs hard work.
Yeah.
We have to be able to break the boundaries.
Yeah. Can you give any concrete examples that these people have found a vision which they're...
I think we shouldn't see each other as competitors.
Yeah.
I think we should see each other as collaborators.
Yeah.
We do it together.
Yeah.
If I have enough skills, if I can bring out my message, I don't think I will lose out by working with a so-called competitor.
Yeah.
I do my thing, they do their thing, but still we can create the common vision.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have to turn to our next theme, which deals with the sustainability. And with sustainability, I refer to the very classical notion and 3 pillars that come from United Nations Sustainable Development Policy, and these are environmental, economic, and social sustainability. But I would like to add a 4th dimension, which is cultural sustainability. So, dear panelists, I would like to ask you, what do you think about sustainability when developing social innovations? How could we combine perhaps all these 4 dimensions and get positive impacts in all these dimensions when we produce and deliver social innovations? Is it possible? What do you think?
I think there is a demand and pressure for that. So I liked the viewpoints that you presented. And for instance, here in Finland, we have a startup called Project Upright, and they are creating, or they have already created, but they are still developing it, this algorithm for measuring net impact, which includes more than just the environmental impact. So I think the environmental impact, it's been discussed quite a lot, but we all know that we are not like close enough at all to the targets that we should be aiming for, but also increasing and including social, cultural, and the other dimensions. It's very important. So I don't have a solution for you, but I think this is a really important topic.
For me, the sustainability topic is also intertwined with the advancement of technology and the danger of the digital divide. I think this is also a very big danger in each of our societies, let alone North, South, and a global perspective. And I think we will really only advance if we take everybody with us, because otherwise we will just widen. And I think you just said it before, Minna. We are getting each of parts of society are stuck in their bubbles, and I think this is a very and crucial and sometimes also dangerous factor which we should not underestimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the basic of sustainability is walking the talk. Mm-hmm. And we all are so wonderful in saying great words and talking good stuff, and starting from us individual all the way to the political leadership. And if you look what is happening around us, what happened during the last weekend, and as long as we don't walk the talk, mm-hmm. Sustainability will be in Finnish they say lasten kengät. I don't know how to say it in English. It will be in a very, very small level or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can also add about the Project Upright. So they are actually joining their forces with job search engine Jobly here in Finland. So in a way that when a person goes there looking for a job, she can use a filter that how companies are actually trying to make an impact towards environment or social impact or society. So there's kind of this outside pressure also, but I really think what you said, it's walking the talk, and that's basically it.
Yeah. Okay, I have some questions about financing social innovation and financial structures, but I think they are quite boring. Do you want to discuss about finance? It's important. You have to get money. You have to get resources in order to develop social innovations. But sometimes I find this discussion around this topic quite boring, because what we say is, oh, give us more money, then we will develop social innovations. But if you have something new to add to this question, so please. Or something innovative that can be delivered to policymakers.
Just
and
hopes, maybe, that, like for instance, we have to design also funding to enable cooperation. As we already talked about it, there are challenges in co-creating and working together, but also including net impact, for instance, into funding instruments, and also the future's perspective. I think it's many times missing. So, yeah, hopes.
Yeah.
I just don't want a panel where everybody agrees, so I play devil's advocate, and I think there is enough money out there. I mean, if you look how much subsidies are not used and getting there and rot there and don't pay interest. So we really need to step up our efforts, maybe also to make the application process slightly easier. But nevertheless, I think this is not after the, it's not like 30 years ago. There's enough money around, so let's be creative to get it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I think we are getting short. Well, the time is running. Let's move to our last theme, which is about union of technology and well-being. So as said, technology is a it's a necessity also in the development of social innovations, and many innovations require technology in order to be effective. If you think about, for example, applications in education or whatever, the technology has made it possible to learn regardless of time and place. But technology may take over in innovation, and it can become an end in itself. So I would like to ask you, what are your opinions and ideas on technology how to use it, what are the future perspectives, what kind of role technology plays in social innovation, not only if we think about the result, but the development process, when you think about the co-creation and collaboration. What is the role played by technology in all these respects? Who wants to start? Very easy question, by the way.
I will start with a disclaimer. I really have no idea.
Yes, I like you. I like you.
But I believe we have no choice. Technology is going to be one of the biggest players when you think about the future.
Yeah.
This is my belief, but I have no idea.
Yeah. If we think about, for example, third sector organizations, these civil society organizations and movements, they might not be the pioneers in technological aspect, or they not be, experts in technology, and they may not have access to resources. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm a pessimistic. I'm thinking about my own organization as well. So how can we learn? What kind of collaboration do we need? Because technology is important. We cannot,
Yeah, I can only confirm. I think, especially the artificial intelligence, which is now became a buzzword. I think this is almost like the internet revolution 25 years ago, and it's going to be huge. And as I said before, it will happen also without us. So to some extent, we need to deal with it. As we need to deal with political, social crises. I think we have to dedicate some resources of our time to learn about it, how to use it, how not to use it. But it's too important to let it happen also without our input. This is like not the Deus ex machina which is going to destroy us, but we can take our fate into our hands. But it's important to understand what we're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just can continue, and I agree totally. And like the good thing, for instance, in generative AI is that it democratizes AI. That's good news. But then we should discuss the ethics, of course, and the power. Like there are only like how many companies now that are kind of ruling the artificial intelligence market, like 6, 7 or so. So when we are using artificial intelligence like ChatGPT and so forth, I think we have to ask the question that who are we handing the power to? And I think that's really, really important, but also like how to make technology accessible for all. Like, again, there are pros and cons. Like there are sites like Patients Like Me who bring patients together to solve like difficult like diseases and symptoms, or Access Now. Pros and cons, but the power is really important thing. And I think we have learned something since I've understood that in EU level, metaverse is now there on their agenda, but it's developed in human-centered way. So bringing the ethics in. So many tough questions, and obviously, of course, lots of opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. Let's involve our audience. Do you have any questions? Do you have any ideas, reactions? Here, could someone bring the,
Hi, thank you so much for the panel. It was very interesting. I'm from EASPD. My question was directed at the first speaker, and you've mentioned a lot that it's important that we have empathy and values. I'm wondering, what are these values? Who is setting the values? Are they in line, obviously, with persons with disabilities? Is it following the UN CRPD? Because obviously, otherwise we risk imposing a model of values that is sometimes Western-centric. So how do you make that applicable so that social innovation happens everywhere? Thank you.
Yeah, I will. It's a good question. Who define the values? I think as humans, we know what are good values. There's no doubt about it. It is absolutely impossible that we don't know what is good or what is not good. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be seen. We all want to be appreciated. That is universal. And the values comes from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more? There's one.
Sorry, see you behind me. Hi, I found this a fascinating discussion, and really thank you to all the panelists. I'm really interested, Wilfried, around lifelong learning and digital inclusion. I think certainly in the UK where I work, yeah, it's as if often when you walk into sort of disability services or social care services, you've left kind of the digital world behind. And I, as an individual, know, a bit like you said, I only use probably a small proportion of what the potential is. But I feel in social care we use even less. And people with disabilities often don't have access to some of the things that you and I probably take for granted in terms of smartphones and so forth. So I think if that's the future, and by the way, I've decided I'd love a job title being future designer. I love that. But if that's the future, surely we're already at risk of leaving people behind. So, yeah.
Thank you. An excellent question. Yes. We had a wonderful, I attended a panel this morning with Franz and the lady from JDC in Israel. JDC is a service provider there. And they do a lot with smart homes technology, you know, Alexa and beyond, from lights to bathrooms and whatever, with a really clever approach to train, first of all, the staff to know what they're talking about, and then, of course, with the beneficiary. Is a process which takes time, but has incredible impact afterwards, that everybody's really happy using it, and a big relief, and really a step forward. And I think it refers to a little bit what we've been saying before. Let's look beyond our environments, because there is things there which work. And let's try we will not have a solution for everything, but some of the problems can be definitely resolved. And thank you. I mean, the preaching of the digital divide is one of the real pressing and urgent ones. Let's keep this in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more question.
Thanks to the panelists. I have to admit that I'm a bit confused, because I'm wondering about your concept of the future, and I have the impression that you are very much tend to narrow it down to technology and technological problems. If I look at the future from the point of view that I have in today, this afternoon, in 2023, in October, so I see climate problems, I see war, I see governments changing to very right-wing positions. I see the problem of xenophobia. I see the problem of staff shortage. I see migration. I have 2 children. So the question is, what kind of future are you talking about? Are you really sure that we can solve? So my question is, aren't you narrowing down the future designing to technological answers?
Certainly not. We have been talking about social innovations, and they really strive for solving this kind of enormous problems we are faced with. But technology is a part of that package, and we have to take that into account as well. But maybe if you want to comment on that, and final remarks and final words. When we look at the future, how does it look like from the perspective of social innovation?
Yeah, to comment, I think we all agree. this panel and our panel was focused on social innovation, and we certainly didn't tackle all the necessary topics, of course. For instance, foresight and future thinking is rooted in systems thinking, so it always includes politics, economics, society, technology, environment, customer, and culture. So I think a very good point of view that you mentioned, so thank you for that. The last comment, maybe I will think about that for a while.
Yeah, maybe Rajkumar.
Yeah, thanks. These are real issues, but then again, by definition, that world has less poor people than 200 years ago. By definitions, we have less wars than 200 years ago. And by definition that we know how to protect ourselves from weather-related, climate-related issues than 200 years ago. And technology played a huge part in all these things. Of course, we need to keep addressing all these issues. I think that if there's going to be another enabling social innovation seminar in 200 years in Helsinki, probably we will be talking about the same problems. As long as we human exist, certain problems will remain. We need to keep talking, and we need to work hard.
Yeah. Final words.
Apologies, I might have dragged the discussion a little bit towards technology, but nevertheless, let's be optimistic. I think we also have, we refer to a great legal framework, which is the convention. We have the European Disability Act coming to force basically tomorrow, and because we've been crying a lot, I think, for political frameworks and regulations, it's there. So let's make it happen, and let's be optimistic about the future.
My final comment would maybe be around visions. So I think we really need hope for the future, faith for the future. I think we are all responsible to also raising inspiring visions today.
Thank you. And maybe I could add one point. What I would like to see in Finland and in the whole of Europe is that when we talk about innovation policy and the measures we take in innovation policy, there could be this social innovation mentioned in those most crucial policy documents and financial structures and so on, that social innovation is there, it's recognizable, and is part of the mainstream in innovation activities and policies. This was quite bureaucratic viewpoint, but that's my dream. Little strange. Okay, thank you. This was a very nice discussion, and you were excellent. Thank you so much, and thank you for the audience for your involvement. Thank you.
Thank you for all of the panelists. And I think that Soile, you very well pointed us to the next topic of our conference, which is about recognizing and awarding existing innovations, because it's about social innovations, why we are here. And we are actually, there are many good practices in this group, and we want to also award that. So I will invite to the stage James Crowe from EASPD, the president, and the vice president, Valerija Bužan. And thank you for all of you. There will be some reorganizing of the stage. And at this point, it's almost very exciting because we are also going to invite one representative of each winning organization of the Innovation Awards. So please come here, and I will give the floor to Jim.
You say a word afterwards. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. Okay. Thank you. Yes, could a representative of each of the winning organizations come forward to join us on the stage, please? Okay, good afternoon again. I get to do some really nice things in EASPD, and one of them in particular is to be able to introduce the awards, the Innovation Awards. Myself and one of our vice presidents for the area of Bužan, who I will hand over to in a second. Dear delegates, you may be aware that we encouraged nominations for awards under this category of innovation. And it became obvious that we should do that when we identified the topic for this conference, and that the topic was social innovation. So we should therefore introduce another edition of our awards. What better occasion than today and tomorrow to celebrate the forward-looking concepts and practices developed by some of our member organizations and other disability providers worldwide than during an EASPD conference on social innovation. Whilst the decision to host another edition of our awards was easy, defining what constitutes a socially innovative practice proved trickier than perhaps we anticipated when we decided to launch the call. What exactly is innovation? And we've already looked this morning at definitions of innovation, and it's important, because what we don't want to do is to water down the value of calling something innovative. So this idea of trying to define what innovation was led to intensive and energizing debates and discussions within our board and within our staff team in the Secretariat, and led to a new EASPD study, which I think there are still published copies of it available outside, or I'm sure it will be online shortly, entitled The Concept of Social Innovation in the Disability Field. And it's well worth having a read and consulting on it, considering it. Reading through the many applications that have been submitted by service providers to EASPD, it's been truly inspiring to learn about the ambitious and genuinely innovative approaches that you guys and others who've made nominations have put into practice. Still more impressive is that these practices, these new approaches to service, have been introduced during what we know has been a chaotic period with the pandemic, with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the general impact on cost of living and in our countries, and pressure on our service budgets. But I can't trademark this. I think we heard this from an Israeli organization earlier today, but social innovation is in the DNA of EASPD and of our members, including the Israeli organization that mentioned it earlier. We must do our best to promote social innovation across Europe in all areas of service delivery, linked to the implementation of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Disabled Persons. I would like, before handing over to Valerija, just to sincerely thank all those who applied to this call for submitting innovative practice. We know effort and work went into those applications, so we're very grateful to you from EASPD. Your efforts are invaluable to our sector and to the people that we support. We're also indebted to the jury, who had to make decisions about the awards, which was not an easy task, I'm sure. And so thank you, jury members and people who took that task so seriously and gave their time and effort to doing that. I'd also like to draw your attention to the prizes, which are behind me. They have been produced by a group from a Finnish organization, Oma Polku. They are associated to, Oma Polku is associated to the social economy organization Omiran, where artists with intellectual disabilities are paid salaries for their art. These creations are inspired by the artist's dreams. And I think that's very significant and very wise of the identification of that as being the theme for the prizes. It's entirely in keeping with the theme of this conference, the idea that creativity and innovation begin with a dream. I now give the floor to Valerija, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jim. And now we can go to our winners. First is Enable Scotland.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. This is excellent to receive this award. So Enable are a charity from Scotland that work with people who have disabilities to support them to live as active participants within their local communities. The PA model is the particular model here that I'm delighted to accept on the people that we serve across our health and social care arm of Enable. The PA model was born in 2014 and has continued to grow Enable's impact across the whole of Scotland, supporting multiple people to live as independent as a life as they choose to within the communities of their choosing. So without going into too much of the detail, because I know that the packs have got that, I was asked to kind of at least just kind of give a bit of a fun fact, a bit of a flavour ahead of some of the workshops that we will go to tomorrow. So I will leave you with the thought of the PA model not only allows the person, it doesn't just take the concept of person-centeredness, but it moves that into self-directedness, and it creates the opportunity for an individual to self-direct their own service design, to self-direct their own teams of people that are recruited to employ them. But not only does it do that, but it actually creates a wonderful opportunity for those people that are being employed to serve the people that are accessing the service. And one lovely example of this is there was a young gentleman who had been through quite a lot of trauma, quite a lot of community breakdowns in his life, a young 30-year-old man who had been in institutional settings for the majority of his life, and just 4 months before COVID, following an 18-month transition from his hospital setting into his own home within the community, he transitioned into that home. But with COVID joining, it became a very precarious situation, and he was possibly at risk if there had been an outbreak of COVID in the home, and that we weren't able to adequately staff up the team with those that knew him and those that he had recruited into his team. And what we would say is we managed to protect that service for 18 months. And then when COVID did hit, the entire staff team locked down with him in his house. They locked down for 10 days, nobody left, they were all there. The staff are in it as well. You know, if you are recruited specifically to support one person, that is why you get up in the morning. And I think that's just testament to what's really, really special about the model. So thank you very much for the award, and I'll accept this on behalf of the people that we serve at Enable. Thank you.
I would like to ask Hubie from Belgium to come to me.
Thank you very much for this award. The reason why for us it's extra special is because this project works with people who are very, very vulnerable in our society, and actually outside our society, because we work with people with a disability who live on the streets of Brussels and who don't have access to our society. And where, in my experience, our project is innovative is because of the collaboration we have with the social workers of the homeless shelters, And together we bring this collaboration to another level, because we take our resources and our knowledge and we meet the people on their turf where they feel at home. In a homeless shelter, we go to meet them there where they feel comfortable, where they have already established a relationship of trust between the person with a disability and the homeless worker. And we reinforce this relationship, so we don't take them to our grounds, we meet them and we reinforce this relationship of trust, so we can help the people with the disability to follow their pathway and regain access to our society. So I actually would have loved someone of the project to be standing next to me, because not only talking about them, but also because once you've survived on the streets, every challenge, like speaking in public, becomes redundant. And more often than not, they end up reassuring us by telling us, no worries, everything will be fine. So I take their message today to have the courage to speak to you and represent their voice. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just want to call Access for You International from Hungary.
So thank you very much for the award. It is a pleasure to be working with the EASPD, and I truly want to congratulate every other winner in this panel. Now, what I want everyone to know is that, of course, we are the winners today, but the winners that truly matter is society, and the people who are here are the ones that truly help us develop society the way we want it to be. Now, first of all, I did not plan on introducing Access for You, but I'll just give you a brief introduction. So we provide certifications to buildings and to 15 different property segments, so coffee shops, restaurants. And we basically work together with them on gathering their accessibility information and then sharing it to the public through our website and phone applications. So what we do is we basically create detailed and reliable accessibility information on environments. Now, a fun fact of Access for You is that our founder has been a wheelchair user for the past 15 years, which is not that fun of a fact. But the reason why I'm telling you this is that Access for You was created due to his own experience. So what I like saying is that Access for You was designed in Lisbon, but created in Hungary. The reason why I'm saying this is because when our founder went over to Lisbon, he called up the property manager. He asked him whether the environment is definitely accessible for his own specific needs. Of course, he was reassured that yes, the property is accessible. But once he got there late at night, at 1 in the morning, there was a surprise right in front of him. So he couldn't get into the building because there was a set of 4 stairs in front of it. So what they told him is, okay, we're going to pick you up. And so every time you come here, we're just going to pick you up and take you into the building and back. So of course, that wasn't feasible. I mean, the wheelchair itself is 120 kilos. So what we are solving here is the lack of reliable and detailed information so that people with disabilities can decide for themselves if the environment is accessible for them or not. So yes, fun fact number 1, and then the second one was, let me think about it. Yeah, so about tomorrow's workshop, why I would like to invite all of you to join the workshop is because this event is about social innovation. Now, Access for You has had the opportunity to receive funding from friends, from family, from banks, and from venture capital. So we have had experiences in gathering funds from private individuals and private organizations. So what I'm going to share with you tomorrow is basically how we've managed to achieve this. So thank you very much, and I also congratulate everyone that is attending this event.
The next winner is Enable from Greece.
Thank you very much. Hello. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations also to everyone that attending this conference, because I believe that you are all doing a great job in your organizations. Enable Greece, it's an organization related with technology. We use several technologies as 3D printing, 3D scanning, and mechatronics to design and build assistive devices and educational materials for people with disabilities. This award has to do with a practice and a methodology that we developed about how to convert images from fairy tales to 3D printed tactile images for visual impaired children. It was a great project with a great impact, we believe, to the beneficiaries and to the organizations that we work together. During this practice, we organized several trainings, and what it was really inspiration for us is that we got a great interest and enthusiasm from the trainers of the visual impaired students and from their families about this practice. And this is a great motivation for us to see that there is a great impact in this method. And also it's very important for those people, especially for the trainers, because you all know that they are doing a very good job and hard work, and they suffer from a burnout syndrome. And this is also a way to give them motivation, extra motivation, and to invest also on their professional development. So for tomorrow, the workshop that the organizer of the conference has already organized, I think it will be very important to see how we can use several technologies in very simple way, because this is actually the important thing, to use the technology in a simple way and in a meaningful methodology, so everyone can use it. So I think it will be very interesting to investigate how we can use several digital tools and several technologies in order to help people with disabilities and also improve our work in our organizations. Thank you very much, everyone.
And now we have the winner from Sweden, student for Bandet Vuxenskola. I miss. I need to show that you translate me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a brave try to pronounce my organization's name. And I'd be happy to have you read my name tag later. Yes, thank you for this. I would also be very curious about the artists, so maybe I could get some information on that later. What we've done is a project where people with intellectual disabilities get access to voting and political participation. So we do that together with the disability organization of theirs, and been doing so since 2014. Now, the unique thing about this is that we took a brave conclusion from the analysis when we started this, that it's no use to teach people how to vote unless they are invited to know what we are voting about. So the very politics has to be made accessible, which of course puts a whole set of new demands on us to be impartial and solve that. Do you want to know how that is done? Come to the workshop with the award winners tomorrow, and I'll tell you. Now, I could, though, tell you the result right now. In the last election, we had 911 participants. 85% voted. That's 1% more than the Swedish average. So that's quite impressive. Can I tell them one secret about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you one secret about it. It's about listening very closely to the ones that are in the project. So for example, after 2018, the participant told us, it's very hard for us to know who represents what party because the party logo isn't there when they're on television. So we don't know if he or she says something good, who should we vote for, right? So we constructed a digital game where you can practice in your mobile phone that, oh, she's the liberal. Yeah, right. And he's the socialist. No, oh, so, okay, I'll redo that, right? A simple memory game that you could practice in your, and we made it so that they could program it for their local and regional level, which means that they actually probably know more about politics and the representatives than most people in Sweden when they go to vote. This is how we do it. See you tomorrow on the award seminar.
And we have one winner more from Israel, Shekulo Top Group.
Hi, good afternoon. Our CEO and two other colleagues were supposed to be here today. The reason I managed to be here today is because I moved with my husband to Lisbon 3 months ago. I consulted with them what we want to say, and we want to dedicate this award to other people. First of all, we want to dedicate this award to thousands of innocent people who entered this week with no disabilities, and will finish this week with physical and mental disabilities. We want to dedicate this award to Mor Baider, who woke up Saturday morning, opened her Facebook, and saw on her grandmother's wall pictures of her body. A terrorist broke into the old lady's home, murdered her, took the phone, and filled her Facebook with pictures of her dead body. I want to dedicate this award to 260 families of young people who were butchered during a music festival. A festival that celebrated peace became a bloodshed of terror. Yesterday I wrote 1,200, today it's already 1,300 innocent were slaughtered, raped, beheaded, cut open, children butchered in front of their parents. Not since the Holocaust have so many Jews have been killed in one day. How can we get up from this? But I mainly want to dedicate this award to my colleague Elad Or, the manager of Good Dog, one of 8 vocational engagement enterprises awardee of this innovation award. I will talk about them professionally tomorrow. Elad brothers, sister-in-law, and their children are now kidnapped in the Gaza Strip by the hands of Hamas monsters. They get up every morning to videos of his wounded nephew sent from captivity. He's just a kid. And I wish Elad was the only story that we have in Shekulotov Group right now. It is not. It's our reality. On the one hand, personal grief, family misery, communal loss. On the other hand, the need, the commitment of all of us to rise above ourselves, take security risks, and continue to provide services to almost 8,000 people with complex disabilities to ensure their independent living even today. I don't want any one of you to go through what independent living during war is, but it means sitting in the shelter with everyone, volunteering for the innocent people with everyone, sending sandwiches to everyone, and that's what we are doing with them. As such, today, probably more than ever, this award is much appreciated and heartwarming and is dedicated to them for better days. Thank you.
Thank you to all winners. Like President said before, thank you for other applicants who send us all these materials. All of them are winners. And thank you for the group of jury who arranged everything. So see you next year when it will be another edition of Innovation Awards. Thank you very much. I wish you to find out more. Please visit Knowledge and Innovation Corner in the main hall. You can have there more information. And just can I give you for today? It's dinner at 19:30 in Restaurant Bank, and tomorrow we start at 9 o'clock. And
Petra will say a word or two to add to that.
okay.
It's 7:30.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all of the winners, and you are in our hearts and minds. I'm sure for that. For the dinner, the address is also on your badge, so it's about half an hour walk from here. There is also public transportation. If you need to know more, you can contact KVPS staff. But my colleagues from KVPS are going to also give you guidance on how to walk to the restaurant. So the group will leave at 7 from the hotel lobby. So perhaps those of my colleagues who are going to be there, you can stand up. They will be your tour guides through the city. Hopefully it's not that windy anymore. And to be able to really enjoy the evening, to get the most time that we can have, please, we appreciate if you would be there at 7:30, because we also have one guest in the beginning of the dinner. So thank you for today, and hopefully see you in the member forums very soon.